In this series of videos, we'll be trying to create a 2D top-down fighter game that has great similarities to Hotline Miami and Kingdom Hearts, acting as a sort of mixture. This game is called Heart of Gold. So this is what I've done in my game so far. My game is called Heart of Gold, and the objective is to make it into a 2D top-down fighter game as such, but it's less of a fighter where you use complex controls to do different combos. It's more simplified than that. It's more based around being an RPG, if anything. So this is the main part that I've done so far. Of course, I'm using Unity to make this game. Hotline Miami was made in Game Maker, if I recall correctly. And games like Undertale, I believe, were also made in Game Maker. Though don't quote me on that, because now my information's getting blurry. Some of these games, I'm not sure if both Hotline Miami and Undertale were made in Game Maker as such. They don't have to be, you know, but making this game in Unity, and I want to see how far I can go with it, because maybe Unity is the game engine that I use, and I don't have to follow what other people do as such, because I have creative freedom, and when you have freedom, you should abuse freedom. Sounds pretty bad, but you get what I mean. So this is the progress I've already made in my game, and yeah, you can see this isn't much, but I haven't just made a main menu. This is just one of the scenes. If you're familiar with Unity, you'll see I actually have two scenes here, one called Dev and one called Main Menu. Well, once this was built and run, pressing the New Game button on this menu, by the way, creating the UI system for this was a fucking nightmare, but I only decided I'd begin documenting this stuff, you know, after I finished doing the main menu, so maybe I'm a bit late. This is the early version of the main menu though. I may keep the buttons, I may even keep the background art. Maybe I'll change the title, because what's supposed to be a fade to gold here really doesn't look like gold, it looks like dust, and maybe the title will change. If we preview the scene, you can hear it has main menu music made in Fruity Loops. So that's also going to be a lot of fun to try and get my head around. But here, if I press new game, we transfer over to the dev scene. And as you can see, I've got a camera follow script, because the camera doesn't typically follow you. It's default to stay static, but if you create a script, it will do what you want it to do. We have some hand-drawn art, which I did. It's not the best, but it's also not a final version, because I don't want my art to look this way, and having it look this way is actually fairly limiting, because you can't really make characters unique in this sense. The only things I can change is skin color, hand accessories, and what color trousers they're wearing, and shoes. It's gonna become kind of samey, kind of fast, and I have to find a way to make a simple format for my characters while also making them unique. And also I should mute TS here actually, just in case one of my friends joins the channel and that gets on the recording. And this is supposed to be the direction the player is facing in, so that when the animation to swipe comes, it's rotated correctly to deal damage in a cone on enemies. And you can see I've done some very basic construction here. I've made a road. This is fairly developer stuff. Plus we're going to be experimenting with lighting, and we're going to see what kind of effects we can do there. So anyway, if we stop previewing the script, you can see the UI I've created works, quit works as well, I'm pretty sure, and this is a audio source. To change scenes. Since I've already made the main menu pre to this video, we're going to be focusing on the main game, which is called Dev. And this is it. This is literally it. This is a like 1024 by 1024 surface. of what I call grass, and this is a road with 3 separate tiles. As you can see, when properly positioned, they can almost seem seamless. Except there, which clearly is not seamless. Sort of the idea I'm going to do with textures, but the thing is, Unity is no game maker. It doesn't work around a tile system, you have to invent it. The thing is, Unity allows you and gives you the power to invent a lot of the systems for your game. You just have to do the inventing. It's not there presupposed. That's why Game Maker may have been a better choice for a 2D top-down game. But Unity gives you freedom, and that's what I want to play around with. The problem is, I don't know where to start. Game design is an art because there is no right answer. Game mechanics can be created on a whim that others question but you approve of. Designing characters can be a hit or miss by the size of a baseball bat. Without specialist skills, can I really succeed in creating my own game? Is all my progress all for nothing? Will I have the willpower and what it takes to create stories, characters, gameplay mechanics, all to mesh into one project? Or will I simply fall flat on my face? That's the worry of a game designer. You may have noticed we didn't really make any real progress in this video. Most people call that fannying about, but I don't really see it that way. This video was more to preface what this project will be, what it will become. In many of these sequences that I create, I try to be as realistic as possible, like the worries I really have of this project ever coming to fruition, because of such a grand scale of what I desire it to be. An open world RPG fighter that's 2D top down and fun for the player to play, while also explore and adventure and discover new parts of the world. How am I going to achieve that? How do I quantify how much progress that I need to do that? Should I even bother quantifying it at all? Much like this video, I usually just gun for it. I try what works, edit in more of that magic, and try adding some motion graphics to it. And sometimes it works, sometimes the results vary, and some people generally just don't like the style. Of course, I've got to stay true to myself and decide what route I'll go. That leads me onto the focus of the game. I think to really start with this game, you have to think of the context or the story. And that's definitely where I'll be starting off next episode.
of those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown. Because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. They read the good book from Friday till Monday. That's how the weekend goes.
How it goes.
I've got a dream house I'll build there one day with picket fence and